The fact that we've been able to rally all around the world, and mostly with Subarus, and rally on the tarmac and rally on the gravel and now rally in the desert, and win rallies and perform way above expectation for the Subaru product, I'm absolutely wrapped.
We're back at Sunraysia Safari for 2024, which is, in my opinion, the toughest rally of the year.
It's a real test of endurance, 1187 Ks in 4 days.
It's something we look forward to every year, so we're back to have another go. We have a lot of success with our Subarus, so we thought we'd put them to the test once again. So my son Dean and I are back with our Safari Forester and our CROSSTREK. And yeah, it's like every day is an ARC event here, hundreds and hundreds of kilometres. So it's a test for Dean and I, and it's a test for the cars, and it's a test for the crew. So it's something we look forward to every year, so we're back to have another go.
We're really excited to start today. The weather is amazing. We've got 274 Ks of competitive. We're looking just to get out there, get everything right, and lay a good foundation for the rest of the event.
We had a pretty steady day. At least the results show we had a steady day. We tried our best all day, but we just couldn't quite get everything working for us. We had fuel issues in the first stage and got on the wrong side of people's dust and the wrong side of people opening and closing gates in the second stage. And I had a better run in the third stage. I don't know whether the times will reflect that, but it's the best first day I've had for a few years because there's always been some issue. But no, the car's good. The Subaru Forest is good. Just keeps surprising me how well it goes because the roads are very cut up and very rough. We've still got a fair way to go. I think the car's holding up better than the driver at the moment.
Yeah, look, good start. I think this is where, even though I'm only 1.5 Sunraysia Safaris into my career, I understand it a bit more. The flow, what the stage is going to be like, what we're looking for. It's a tough day actually. 275 Ks when you think about it. That's 1.5 ARCs in a day. It was a tough start, but I think it was a solid one for us.
I had service, so I quickly went, right, rally safe. The Sunraysia Safari rally is a blind rally, and what that means is that
we don't see the course before we get here. We only get the road book the night before, so 6 p.m. the night before, we get the road book for tomorrow, and that gives me about 12 hours to see what's in the road book, digest it and start working as a co-driver to identify some things that are going to make our life easier in the car. So this one here, tulip number 117, it's a 123.24 distance from the start. It's 300 metres from the previous instruction, and I've highlighted it in pink because it's a triple caution. Triple cautions are an escalation. Triple is one of the highest, and that's why it's highlighted around the outside of the box for me to easily identify. And the instruction says triple caution, keep right around gutter, and the diagram shows me that there's a gutter on the road and we need to stay to the right side of that. So I'm counting that down, giving that information to Dean so that he can keep an eye out the windscreen. He can see the triple caution board, and then we can keep the car on the right hand side so we don't travel through the gutters. And in some of these cases the gutters are 1 metre deep, so they'll tear a wheel off. So we need to make sure we get that information right.
Started day 2, we've probably done another 100 kilometres, but this time we've come up the other side of the Darling River, and this is all sort of new area for us this year. Yeah, another 3 stages today. We're just going to go do the start line of the first one, keep it pretty simple. It's sort of harder to access today, but really keen for one of the points this afternoon, which is hopefully fairly creative and scenic, so we'll see how that goes.
It's a tough day today. Just the weather, like we're in the middle of a dust bowl, it feels like. You know, the services here in Anorak Hall, it's called, it's just windy and gritty. The truck's getting covered in dust. It's hard work for the boy. Like, I guess if this is, you know, hard sort of core rally racing or whatever you want to call it, then we're experiencing it. We had a rough morning, like went the wrong way, fell in behind the Triton and then got stuck in their dust. So we had a terrible first stage. Had a better run through that last one, but it's not really suiting us. I'm starting to get a bit of a picture that, you know, to the, well, whichever side it is, but to the left-hand side on the, you know, western side on the map, we've sort of got these roads and these sort of camel grass and tough, just really rough for our cars. I feel like when we're sort of more on the eastern side and sort of more towards Pooncarie and stuff, those stages seem to suit us a little bit better. So yeah, it's just a tough day. Survival at the moment. We've got another 120 k's to go, so you know, that'll mean at the end of tonight we'd have done 500, which is getting close to 40-45%. It's just trying to limit mistakes, basically.
End of leg 2, we're on the last stage of the day, and we've got this just absolutely iconic Australian scene here. It's a sheep shearing shed and a sheep yard, but it's what you picture the Australian outback as. You know, shed, blue sky, brown dirt, iconic. So should be a lot of fun sort of shooting through some of the objects in the frames. We drove through just this, like, you know, plain of nothing. Like, there was nothing on the horizon, and then all of a sudden this shed appeared. I think we're probably 100 k's out of Wentworth, maybe like 70 k's from the service park or where we were for lunch. So yeah, feels so remote, middle of nowhere. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Everything got hot. The tyres got hot, the suspension got hot, and the driver and co-driver got hot. But we're here at halfway. Had a pretty good day. We made a few little mistakes, but we had to start easing up a little bit because I think I might have hurt the engine yesterday. Probably didn't mention it last night, but I've probably got to mention it tonight because I think it might be all over for our car. As I pulled up here, I could pick up a little bit of a rattle in it. It's done a bit of work though, and we push it pretty hard. But we'll see. But no sense just blowing an engine sky high for something to do. We'll see how we go. But I think it might be an early shower for me and Chris. We'll get Dean's car sorted, all the normal service things, and then the boys will probably slightly less enthusiastically start to stand around my car and scratch their head. And but unless I think we need a miracle, but I don't think we've got one in our back pocket.
It just was a tough day, tough for the crew. Like, we're just blowing all day, dusty, the servicing was dusty, so it was just a hard day. Started off poor. I mean, we went the wrong way and then got stuck in some dust. It wasn't a great start on the shorter stage, but then it improved. We actually had a pretty good run on the next one, which was pretty tough for our cars, quite rough in bits and pieces. And then the last 120k stage was actually pretty good. We had a good clean run and attacked in spots without trying to take too many risks. And I think we got a third quickest in there, which was a nice way to finish the day. But I just can't believe what roads we're on. Some are like highways and unbelievably fast, and others are not roads, basically. And the cars cop such a hard time. Like, hats off to any car that finishes it, because we're just, some of the culverts and the roads and the dips, it never ceases to amaze me about what this style of motorsport's about, and sort of almost a survival thing, but yet you're against the clock and all battling. So I guess that's the cool part when you now sit back and reflect, but during the middle of it, it's hard work.
Inside there is the ABS module and the rear. I have to fit that better than his. After each day, when the car is back at the service, we do main service, so that means we replace engine oil, we check that nothing has been damaged on the car, mainly on the transmission stuff and suspension stuff. So be sure that there is no wheel bearing fail or lower control arm bend, etc. Also, we go through all the bottom body protection. That's really important to protect the car. Once all this is done, we do a wheel alignment to put back the car straight, and a final check. Half the rally, so we did a main swap on the main parts of the car. We replaced draft shaft, hub, wheel bearings, lower arms, tie rods, so pretty much all the suspension that took a lot of hard job during the event. Half of the event we just replaced for the safety and reliability of the car.
Ooh. Almost got that on camera. We diagnosed the car at a little bit of a noise we thought we were hearing, may or may not be there, but we don't like giving up without a fight, so we'll give it a shot today. We'll monitor what's going on, and if it starts making terrible noises or funny noises, we're certainly not racing for the sheep stations that we're racing on. So we'll monitor what's going on and we'll give it our best shot, and fingers crossed.
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, we're in fifth. All the cars in front of us are, serious contenders, so I think we're probably in a good slot on the road, meaning that there's sort of 4 wheel tracks, so navigation hopefully is a little better this morning, and there's a fair bit to play out, and we've got a bit of a gap to 6, so really I think we're going with the attitude of just minimising mistakes, and the boys did a heap of work last night, so thanks to them for changing precautionary things from drive shafts and wheel bearings and lower control arms and tie rod ends and all that sort of stuff across the car. So trying to make them survive these tough roads.
Day 3 today. It's the big one. It was a 5 a.m. sort of wake up for, I think it's about 350 k's competitive today, something along those lines. And yeah, we're just driving basically an hour and a half out to the first spot of the day. Early start, so the light's really nice. Smashed it out so far, got to lots of locations, and hopefully do the same today. But yeah, we're definitely going to be a long one, that's for sure.
Yeah, look, good start to the day. Obviously the first 80k stage, we won that one. That was a bit more probably rally style, so we were able to sort of get into it and have a really good run. You can sort of read the road quite well, stay up a gear and left foot brake. This is a synchro box, so you've got to be careful when you left foot brake and things, but, and yeah, made no mistake, so it was really cool to be able to get a stage win. I sort of almost view stage wins here a bit like the Tour de France in a way, because they're so diverse and so different and everyone has a different strength and weakness. You take them when you can get them, so it's quite cool to have my second Safari stage win, which I think is pretty awesome, so that's a little tick of the box there. Then the next one was completely different, lots of change of rhythm, sandy. This is that sort of, it just has everything. This is the Big Mac stage, you might say, not so much in length, but just lots of change of rhythm, road surface changes. 1 minute sandy, next minute it's culverty, next minute you can't read it, it's got that sort of camel grass in it. And we got caught out twice, once early on, going through what wasn't even in the notes, but would have been normally marked up as like a couple of cautions. We just crashed through them early, and I think bent a lot of control on because from the rest of the stage the wheel was out, and the car's done well to survive all that, to be fair.
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I'm nursing the car more with every kilometre. I'm limiting the top speed to 160 kilometres an hour, which on dirt, which is still a bit of work for a car. But a car's capable of, 200 odd, as Dean would be doing occasionally. And I'm limiting any revving of the engine to about 6,000, which is also a bit of work for an engine. We're keeping it neat and tidy. We're still hitting the odd thing we don't want to hit. Still getting lost in very small areas, but because you're actually slowing down, you can actually probably pay a bit more attention, so we're getting lost less. So we're still, I think we're maintaining maybe our top 10 position. And I'd be absolutely stoked if we could even get it through to the end of today, let alone maintain that position. But it's another 128 k's to go today. Oh, pretty hot work, and it's pretty hot on the driver and co-driver, I've got to say, for old guys. But if we can get it through to today, I'd be very pleased.
A good day to an average day in one stage. It was going pretty good. It was 130 kilometres and we were probably going pretty good for 70. Had a left rear noise started to appear, which we were sort of dealing with. Felt like a punch to start with, and then it was a bit distracting. But no, I don't know what marker, but about 80 k's in, we got totally lost pretty much. Didn't all add up on the route chart, and then we doubled back, and then still couldn't make head or tail of it, and I don't know, lost 10 or 12 minutes, which is daylight really. So then you just got to coast at home to get to the end. But this service park area is becoming fairly empty. There's lots of bikes and cars. The attrition's massive, as you'd expect on a big endurance rally. And we had our issues with that off on the second stage, even though it didn't really cost us any time. Guys did a great job to repair or change the lower control arm on the right, put a new bearing or hub on the left because that had a bit of movement in it, and tyre and everything else. So full credit to the boys for doing a great job with that.
The sun's shining, a little bit of rain, but it won't keep the dust down, I don't think. But just to be here, absolutely great, because the team's done a great job. We've kept the car going. It's still not happy, but fingers crossed it'll make it to the end of the day. We are running nose to tail today. Dean's the car in front of me. We're running in the top 10 and ironically a car apart, but I'll have to have a word in his ear. I don't want my son holding me up today.
It's not the longest day in regards to competitive Ks, but it's got the biggest stage. Like, it's got a massive 248 kilometre stage. So, you know, that's nearly double the length of any of the other individual stages. So there's, you know, a 10-minute sort of refuel break in there. So there's a lot of concentration, a real sting in the tail of the event, and then it sort of finishes or closes off with a 50K stage. At that point, you know, it's really been a bit of a mission for teams and crews and bits and pieces to get through. So, look, despite, you know, we had some highs yesterday, stage win, you know, the lows with losing a bit of time, but the good thing is that we've held on to our outright position, which is cool. Being 5th outright, and now the thing will be to get through cleanly, try and keep limiting the mistakes, and you never know what can happen from here.
Leg 4, day 4, the big one this morning, 250 kilometre stage. It's mammoth. Like, that's 2 ARC rounds in one stage. It's unreal. It's such a challenge. We've shot fairly early on in that stage already this morning, and because it's so long, we've actually been able to jump maybe 50, 60 kilometres back up to Pooncarie and now see them for the second time in the one stage. So that's pretty unique. We've come to a double caution hump, really hoping to get like a wheel up off the ground, a bit of attitude on the cars, because that would just top off this week. So a few of the bikes coming through now. Let's get into it.
Went really well. We're still nursing the car a little bit, but we had no problems whatsoever during the stage. Had a couple of minor hesitations where we checked we're on the right road. Otherwise, everything went really well. I think we might have moved up to 5th. A couple of cars had problems in that stage. We had a really good clean run, so we're really happy. We'll nurse the car, make sure we don't make any mistakes with the navigation, and keep it clean.
We were 7th on the road, so a little bit of a tricky spot, a little bit further down than where we thought we'd like to be. But we just head down, bum up, focused on getting all the calls right, making sure I gave Dean all the right directions at the right times, and we just kept our noses clean. So we got to the mid-stage refuel, we caught up to the car in front of us. He only had a 50-second gap to us, but we sat in his dust for a while. Put some fuel in and then went back out after that midway point. We caught and passed him probably 25 Ks after that, and then from there had a really clean run. So as of the end of this stage, we've pushed our way back up now to 2nd place outright, with a little bit of a gap back to 3rd. So we need to do the right thing for the next 47 Ks and capitalise on that and bring home the middle step of the podium.
time yesterday, you were probably thinking differently.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously we sort of just fell off the pace of the back, which was disappointing. But yeah, the good thing is, I think through experience, and Sam and I knuckled down today, just trying to limit the mistakes. And yeah, I've been on the wrong side of the ledger plenty of times, so it's sort of nice to come round.
Well done to you. Good job, Dad.
Good job, mate. Well done. We got there. Great result. Yeah.
If they keep dropping out, we'll be the only ones left, and in the very next corner, I put it over a big bank off the road and I went, maybe everyone's waiting for us to do the same thing.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Hardest working service.
Crazy cat. Thank you for your help.
This morning we told you that we had massive stage coming up, and with the problems we had yesterday we had to sort of stay out of trouble, which we did. We ended up with being in the dust to the Smith brothers for about 40-50 k's, which was frustrating, and I knew we had to keep a level head, and as it turned out we got to the refuel at the halfway mark of that stage and Travis had an issue. I could see Webster was limping out, and then of course George was out in 3:04, so I knew a podium was on. So yeah, it's an amazing turnaround. I've been on the wrong side of the ledger plenty of times on penultimate stages and final stages of rallies and bailed out of podiums and wins and things at different levels of motorsport. So look, we weren't the fastest team, but at the end of the day this was an endurance test. It's 1,200 odd kilometres of the toughest roads and terrain in the country, and so to have a podium result, second outright with only a dedicated Dakar off-road machine beating us is pretty cool, and to have two Subarus inside the top 6 on the toughest event of the year is pretty cool, and full credit to the boys and the team and everyone involved for putting it all together, because it's there's a lot of work that goes into that. It's not just bolts and tyres on a nice colour scheme, and we've had a few attempts at this, and Dad's had some success here and there, but to put it all together is awesome feeling, and just deserves it to everybody.
No, I think she's 55.
I'm absolutely wrapped, because to finish 2 cars in the top 6, I think roughly that's where we finished, and for Dean and Sam to come second, it's a bit of a dream come true for me, because 30 years ago we started rallying together. I was the West Australian Rally Champion, and probably maybe even the Australian Rally Champion, and Dean was just a young lad of 18. So the fact that we've been able to rally all around the world, and mostly with Subarus, and rally on the tarmac and rally on the gravel, and now rally in the desert, and win rallies and perform way above expectations with the Subaru product, I'm absolutely wrapped.